And welcome back to another episode of Plug Talk Sports. As always, the two criminals in action, Jonka Don't Stop, as well as myself, Brandon Hernandez. Now, Jonka, before we even got on, because I think this is pretty interesting, because we probably about plug talk. Might as well plug this though, because you told me you're selling your cards now on eBay.
Yeah, so I tried Whatnot. I didn't have the schedule for it, but now I'm uploading cards for it. So it's for anybody that likes cards, literally like a couple bucks each one, maybe $1, $2. So I have soccer, baseball, football, basketball. You let me know. If you can always DM me, I will, message you. I'll try to search for a card that you probably want. I got some F1 in there for anybody that wants F1. Like, I'll give you a snippet of what I got so far, but I got some college in there, so got some Club Nick, some Cooper Kupp, Michael Mayer, Chase Young, a lot of football, some Valverde, CeeDee Lamb. Some of them are numbered. I don't know if you see it there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Some Jamar Chase numbered. There you go, Chet Holmgren. Shout out to the finals. We're going to talk about that. Baseball.
Early right now, going to the second half.
So, yeah, I'm going to be uploading a lot this week. So, if anybody wants any cards, let me know. I'll give you guys the username if you guys want to buy some cards. It's, I'll tell you right now. It's GMJ_77. If anything, just DM me. Jonko Don't Stop, Canes Don't Stop, and you already know me. I'll message you from there. All right, let's get on to the show because this is gonna be a good one.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot, but I'm telling you right now, Jonka, again, great journey to start. Because for those who don't know Jonka, he is the card guy for sports card in South Florida. So always look out for him.
You guys don't even know, bro. I've got like box here of thousands. I got even more cards here on the side. Like, I'm uploading, bro. Don't be afraid to ask. Most of these are going to be like $1 cards, and you can get a steal. Even some, like, it's a variety. So don't worry. Don't be afraid to offer me, lowball me, bro, because I'm you know me. I'm chill, so.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. But as you said, a lot to get on our plate right now. All right, we got World Cup, FIFA World Cup club action going on. Obviously, we got a few championships on the line right now with OKC. I actually have the game on my big screen here, 61-45 OKC leading to open up the third quarter. But let's go to the ice. Now, down here in South Florida, it's all been Panther talk. The watch parties in Sunrise has been on lock. Hockey has ran through Sawgrass Mills Mall for the past 2 years, and it's honestly is looking like that.
3 years.
3 years in the East, looking to get back-to-back. And, Jonka, you know what's the crazy part about it? Who was the last team that went back-to-back championships in back-to-back consecutive years?
Oh, no, wait. Warriors.
Yes, but besides the Warriors, in the NHL world, the last team was the Tampa Bay Lightning, 2020 and 2021. The state in the last 6-7 years has been on a crazy run. Insane run.
Hey. Yeah, I think the commissioner and everybody else in the NHL community is already sick and tired of how Central Florida and South Florida team is dominating NHL hockey right now, where we don't even have snow or even ice any time of the year.
Yeah.
And we're dominating. It just goes to show you that we're better than you.
Indeed, we are, man. I'm telling you, because I mean, last time we were on, it was basically the first two games. We didn't talk about game 3, 4, or 5. So to give you a quick kind of, if you were living under a rock, or in other words, you don't have TNT. Game 3 was all Panthers. That I believe was a 6-1 victory for the Cats at home, hosting the Edmonton Oilers, and that was a game where we saw. I mean, obviously Marchie was on one. Sam Reinhart has already 5 goals throughout this entire Stanley Cup Finals. And actually, a quick note here: Sam Reinhart as well as Marchand, both 5 goals in a Stanley Cup Final. I think that's the first duo to do it in like 59 years or something like that. Some crazy stat for that. But yes, Cats end up blowing things up in game 3. And that one, Jonka, I mean, I'm pretty sure we remember, the UFC brawl that happened on the ice. I mean, Edmonton just gave up midway playing hockey.
I told you this last week, Brandon, that I think the week before, that this Oilers team is mentally weak. They won game 1 off of a triple rebound, and then Bobrovsky just luckily fumbling the puck and it sliding under his legs. That right there is a game 1 win. And then heading into game, if I believe correctly, game 3, where we lost, I think, if I'm correct, no?
Well, game 4 we lost. We're talking about game 3 where we won 6-1.
Was it game 2 that we went to the watch party?
Well, I'm telling you, you learn something new about this thing every single time. You do the thumbs up.
That wasn't me, guys, I
swear. But yeah, so actually for those for the games 1 and 2, so game 1, Panthers actually lost that one in overtime. Game 2, Cats won in double overtime off a overtime game-winning goal by Marchand. Right. Yeah, who, funny enough, in that game as well, a little fact stack about that one in game 2, Marchand, the first ever player in NHL history for the Stanley Cup Finals to have a shorthanded goal and a game-winning overtime goal in the Stanley Cup Finals. So that was a big part of Marchand there, who's honestly been on a tear these past seasons. But yeah, I mean, John, as you were saying, though, I mean, it's like these close battles, man, to the end.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the bum. What's up? I'm like, hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream, bro. Welcome, man. Yeah. Everything is good right now. We're talking about the finals right now. If you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah, don't be afraid to comment, guys.
Bro, like that overtime loss, bro. I just think that was just like a stimulus package by the league. And then think about this for a second. I previously this is hilarious. Said that this series could possibly go in 5. But if you guys really think about it, we gave up a 3-1 lead in game 1. And then we gave up a 3-0 lead game 4 or game 3. I forgot which
game
one it was.
4. Yep.
Game 4. This series could have easily been a sweep. Now, do I think the league was kind of acting sus, leading the power play calls in a certain direction? I don't know. That shove or like that trip where the Oiler player ran into our guy.
Yeah, Sam Bennett sandwiched him.
Basically changed the entire game. That gave them the power play and just opened up the whole can, bro. It opened up. I was so triggered. I just knew from that moment on that it was just basically like, all right, I'm done with this. Like there's no way we're going to win this.
I mean, honestly though, there's a lot of points where like, Oiler fans are like, oh, but the refs they're not giving us the calls. And then I'm seeing things like, again, I was saying before, like game 3, it was a whole beat down that we basically gave to the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know how you start every single fight and lose every single fight. You know what I mean? But after that game, everyone was like, oh, well, the Panthers getting all the calls. They're, the momentum is not going against their way. Game 3 after that victory for the Cats, Game 4 comes in, and funny enough, I was actually at that game too. And this is a game where like the cheapest ticket was like $600, and then 2 hours before puck drop, it dropped to like went to $1,000. I couldn't believe it. Like everyone was feeling the hockey fever for Game 4. And speaking of which, the frenzy of that first period, 3 goals, and 2 of them came from Kachuk in like the first 20 minutes. So nearly got to a hat trick for the Chuckster. Game 4, I kid you not, though, it was all just like no calls. I saw every single no call. I saw every single time to the Oilers, and especially in that second period when they got the momentum to go tied up at 3. It's like we're holding the stick. Everyone in the crowd's like, "Oh, what's going on?" This and that. And while the distraction's happening, they end up scoring goal after goal after goal. The Oilers end up having 4 unanswered goals. I mean, their fourth one was midway through that third period, and then Reinhart coming in clutch in the last seconds. I mean, that was like FedEx through a pin, like so on the side. And I was there on the side where the Panthers, they don't shoot twice, but I was there for that third period when that shot happened. And I still couldn't believe it went through. It was like 2 to 3 guys right in front of Skinner, or Picard rather, because they actually, funny enough, took out Skinner. And after the first period, and Picard, who was 7-0 undefeated so far throughout this postseason at net, he ended up getting under the net and going into overtime, where, of course, Draisaitl was in the right place at the right time. Oilers won Game 4 via overtime. I think that was 5-4. Like, stuff like that, man. I mean, I don't know how much can I say like the refs are on one side compared to the other, because I know there's always going to be an argument no matter what sport it is, no matter what series it is. But that felt like, man, like Gary Betterman, the commissioner of the NHL, he had to be in the building. He had to be, because there's no other way to explain that.
I just want to put this into perspective for everybody that's watching and that's listening to me right now. Close your eyes and picture this. Panthers do not give up a 3-1 lead Game 1. That's a W. That makes it a 3-0 series again in back-to-back years. We go into Game 4. We have that 3-0 lead, but this time, as defending champions, you would think we're not gonna let this slip.
Yeah.
It's a sweep. Something Las Vegas called, the Illuminati called, the Anunnaki called. Damn, I don't even know, bro. Jesus Christ himself called. There was no way how you can explain to me how the defending champs lost a 3-1 lead and a 3-0 lead in the same series and just forgot how to play hockey the moment they had the lead. Bro, they did not know how to pass, handle the puck, create plays, make runs in the middle, pass. Bro, they looked lost. It's like they forgot how to play. And in that moment, I don't want to conspiracy, bro, but like if you see like how they played Game 5, the whole game,
yeah.
Where was that Game 4?
Yeah.
Where was that Game 4? In your house.
Yeah, but I'm telling you though, again, hockey, unlike basketball, it's such a momentum game that it's like, man, anyone can have, again, especially in this series, if you're up 2 goals, you might as well be tied. Like, you might as well be tied in this series. That's how crazy this series has been momentum change-wise.
Bro, we demoralized. Like, Skinner could not block anything. 3-0 lead. They changed it to this guy, this idiot, Picard, who he demoralized Game 6. And now we still don't even know who's going to be goaltender for Game 6, bro.
Yeah.
We don't know who it's going to be.
We have no idea. And speaking of which, though, before we even jump into Game 6 and who's in the net, because that is going to be a question we're going to have to go dive into. But a little recap, though, from Game 5 Saturday. That was a game that I was like, man, there's like a few times throughout this postseason where it's like, man, it's all Panthers. This was all Panthers. I mean, we're talking about an early 2-0 lead going through the first period. Bennett had a hell of a game, though, himself. Marchand himself still competing. 2 goals in this game. One of them, a nasty, like, by himself at 37 years young, just taking on I don't even know who it was. I don't know if it was like Drysdale who was going on him, but the guy that he made that basically, little puck movement across him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he used him like a cone. He used him like a cone, Jonka. He went around and went right through to Picard. And there's a crazy shot somewhere on Twitter where it's like Picard, Perry, McDavid, and that guy that basically got embarrassed by Marchand, all just sitting in awe. Just like, what the hell happened? And that's the whole point of that game 5 where the Panthers ended up winning it 5-2. Like, what happened to the Oilers at home? What happened to Skinner? What happened to Picard? Like, that was one of the most craziest, I'm not going to say craziest games I've ever seen, but I wasn't expecting that outcome. In a series like this is like, man, the Panthers are starting to get a little more steam. You know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling good about game 6, but Jonka, for that game 5, though, I mean, what did you see from this Panthers squad? Do you think it's like, it's just all them, maybe like taking care of business, or?
They did not let up. They knew they had to win that game in Edmonton because if they didn't win, they would have to win at home and win in a game 7 in Edmonton with them having momentum. I mean, we would have to win game 6. We would have the momentum, but technically it would be a toss-up at this point based on how the series has gone. But it's just how they played was consistent. Defense, they were throwing themselves on the ice, blocking every single attempt. Whoever's gonna take that shot, they just like into the pool. Like they just like, I'm blocking this thing, bro. This is not going in. And then who I think is gonna be MVP? This is gonna be a hot take. It's not Brad. It is not Sam. It's my guy, Boroki.
Bobby
should be the MVP. That guy single-handedly has saved us the entire series. The amount of saves, the crazy saves that he has made that has basically protected us from getting blown out this entire series is next level, bro. The first 2 games had 240 total, like 40 saves for each game. Bro, that's 80 saves in 2 games.
It is. However, what I would say, though, again, because I think the Conn Smythe, basically the Stanley Cup Finals MVP, like, I think there is an argument for Bob. I think so. But I'm also thinking to myself, like, man, like 3 goals a game given up by Bob. You know what I mean? Like, and again, incredible. I mean, because you'll hear Paul Maurice talk about it. You hear everyone talk about it, how this is such a big goalkeeper type of battle, But, and again, we still have to go to game 6 to see who wins. But I really do like Sam Bennett. I like Sam Bennett on Marchand in this one. Because we're talking about guys who are literally making NHL history. And Marchie, again, as I said before, 37 years old. And he's acting like this in a big way, too. Because, again, Barkov hasn't really done much at all this series, besides maybe like a little like hockey assist point here and there. And Tkachuk has shown up in waves. But it's been all Marchand throughout this entire series. And there's been a lot of times in the playoffs, like series like against Toronto, or like, actually, funny enough, there was a soundbite earlier today by Tkachuk from the media that said that Tampa Bay in the first round was like the hardest battle the Panthers had to go through the East, which I'm like, and that's got to be a shot. You went 7 games against the Maple Leafs, but I guess, maybe Mitch Marner wasn't there or Matthews wasn't there. But I'm telling you, though, I really think that between Marchand and Bennett, and if you're a betting man, Marchand is 1-4 odds for the Conn Smythe.
Listen, I understand where you're coming from, but the why I say Bob is because just how they gave up. I mean, sure, yeah, he's the last line of defense. Yes, he's the goalie. He takes most of the responsibility for what goes into the goal, right? Okay. But when we look at those 3-1 deficits, 3-0 deficit that we had to, like, where they came back, like, I'm not expecting him to be a world beater.
Yeah.
At the same time, the defense didn't really step up. Didn't really help them. They were not playing well. And obviously the power plays didn't help at all either. So, am I going to put that on Bob? No, because Edmonton is talented. So, I'm not expecting to have a clean sheet every damn game. Bro, but like, those overtime games, those close saves, like the guy has been on crack.
He has been. I mean, like he's been good. He's been good,
Hey,
John. He's been good.
hey, bro, he had a save last game. It was like he had to like extend his right leg or his left leg. It was on Connor McDavid, bro. It was like the tip,
Oh yeah, the 101 in Game 4. I saw
bro.
it live.
Oh my
And like
god, that
jumped out of
saved
my
the
chair,
game.
dude. Oh my goodness. But I mean, I'm telling you, I do see your point though, because defensively though, it has been the best series for Kulikov, Mikola. I mean, and maybe you can
Bro,
make the
get
argument for defense.
Nikola off the damn team, bro.
Hey,
He's the bro. He's the reason that what was it? What goal was it? I think it was game 3 or game 2, bro. That they came back, bro.
and
He did not have his guy accounted for. He legit just like, oh, I'm gonna double this guy. Left the guy right on top of the wide open. I mean,
I
what are
remember
you
that game more
doing?
Drysdale when McDavid came in and Drysdale was wide open on the left side of the net.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, that I remember that really
Where
well.
are you going? The puck is over there.
Yeah, and I also I would also extend because I know we talk about the defense kind of been suspect, but man, McDavid has been shut out. Like literally Saturday in that 5-2 loss for Edmonton, that was
Bro,
McDavid's first ever goal of the series in Game
since game
5.
5. Since game 5 of Dallas series.
Yeah, it's like, and again, McDavid, he does a lot in different ways, little hockey assists, obviously getting guys towards him to open up other opportunities for the team. But I mean, this is a good formula we have. I mean, and Paul Maurice says like, oh, well, let's not change it. Let's not do anything crazy. No matter who's at goal, let's not change it. But Jonka, this is like, I'm excited if they keep it up like this, man.
I think what they're doing, because obviously this hasn't really been a Barkov series. I think what they're doing is using Barkov's A. Listen, you don't. We'll handle the scoring. Just stick to Connor McDavid as much as you possibly can. If he gets loose, we'll send extra help. But maintain him. If you can maintain Connor, everything else will fall in place on the defense. And then that's when they'll start to panic because everybody else will have to scramble to score a goal. And I think we have a better offense than they do, to be honest. So I feel like that's the only issue they're having. That's why they can't really that's why they're not really getting into their offensive rhythm until like late in the games. And then that's when like we're tired and we have to like go deep into our bench. And bro, then we have Mikola making errors, Nosik giving up that stupid power play in game 1.
Yeah.
Bro,
And Game 1 itself it just felt like we were playing pickup the entire time in Game 1. Like that's probably the only game where I'm like, and again, I understand they went overtime, but probably the worst hockey we played all postseason. All postseason game in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, I agree. That game 1 was really bad. That was we had 3-1 lead.
Yeah. And again, I understand hockey's a bit momentum, so you can't just look at 3-1 leads and be like, oh, well, it's a blowout. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's just the pace of the game. That's just the pace of the game. Yeah. But Jonka, I do want to, before we even switch over to basketball, because obviously, Thunder right now are doing their jobs. Does this hockey team out of Broward County go 2 consecutive titles officially on Tuesday? Or do you think it extends back to Alberta? And if there is a final score prediction, what would you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, what I'm thinking is, and actually this is a crazy thing because I was at work earlier today and we're talking about the game like, oh yeah, Saturday was insane. They look great. They look great on the road. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the Stanley Cup on the road. And people are telling me like, yeah,
Road Warriors.
Yeah, Road Warriors. So like I like our odds better there. I just feel like you go to Sunrise and McDavid's going to be having flashbacks and he's not going to want that again. But John, I'm telling you right now,
I think we got this one because I think we got Skinner already doubting himself. They replaced him. All right, buddy, you're not having a good series. We're gonna put Picard in. We gave Picard that work last game. They're struggling to figure out who's going to be put in tomorrow. And plus, I think I forgot who said it was, we got to treat this like a game 7 because they know anything can happen in a game 7.
Yeah.
I think they're motivated. I think everybody's ready to go. It's going to be a home. It's going to be electric. Electric. Bro, the rats are going to be coming out. Everybody's ready to throw them. I think Barkov has 2 goals after not really scoring. I think he has 2 goals because he hasn't really shown up all series.
Yeah.
I think this is when he finally shows up. He's like, hey, I'm here too. They're going to try to go. They're going to try to double Marchand. They're going to try to get Bennett. They're going to try to get everybody else. They're like, hey, I'm here, bro. I'm here.
I think
we win. We win 4-2.
4-2. 4-2. You know what's really funny though? Because when I was on the point of my coworker saying game 7, I think they win in 7. I'm right with you. I'm thinking game 6. I'm thinking game 6, it's going to be, and again, as this series should end, a close one. But
just like last year.
In Sunrise, on the boards in the corner. But see, a Barkov goal would be so cool and fitting as the captain, the Finnish captain. But I'm thinking a little bit of.
Sorry.
Actually, funny that that happened because I think that call was coming up from Sam Bennett. I think Sam Bennett's going to have a few goals. And I think you're going to put him on voicemail. I think after that voicemail, he's also going to be like, Kachuk's going to have a few goals. I think this is going to be a 1-2 punch, Canada, United States type of mentality working together. Panthers win it, I'm going to say 6-5.
Dang.
And this won't be an overtime game either. It won't be an overtime game. I think that they're going to go out of their way and have Skinner. You know what? I think Picard has that net. I honestly believe that they're going to be like, well, Picard had a win, and then that 5-2 loss, we've seen Skinner give up 3 goals within minutes. Because I know everyone's like, just go back to the starter, but I think Picard's on net.
It's funny you say that. I just had a flash in my head. I don't know, maybe the universe is sending me signals. I think what's going to happen, I think it's going to be an utter, embarrassment. An utter, how do you say, discombobulation, frustration, utter crumble. I think we're going to score on Skinner. We're going to score on Picard. And they're going to be like, bro, we need something. We need something. They're going to put in a third goalie. And we're going to score on them too. And I think it's going to be demoralized team. And they're like, okay, guys, you know what? We can't do this, bro. It's not our year again. It's not our year. We're going to try again next year. They can't do it. They won't do it. This team is so mentally weak, bro. I've been saying it since 2 weeks ago before this series even started. This team is so weak. The only reason that they've won 2 games is because we gave up a deficit. If we didn't give up a deficit, they haven't really won straight up. Seriously, they haven't won straight up.
Yeah. And again, all overtime games. Late, so there's a little deflection here and there. So these are, again, I think this is a full-blown all-star cast. And, it was announced earlier today that we got a few Olympians as well on this Florida team. Half of the starting line is in the Olympics. We're talking about Barkov for Finland, Kachuk for the U.S., Reinhardt for Canada, Nico Strum for Germany, and Balkus, or my apology, Balkanix, probably butchering that name for Latvia. But either way, this is the team to beat. It's been the team to beat since the beginning of the playoffs. But the crazy part about it, no home ice advantage, no anything crazy. But, Jonka, this is going to be a celebration in Broward County.
Oh,
and as a Broward native, this is everything.
I already told my brother, I have a cooler ready. 2 bags of ice. Fill it with White Monster. White Monster, not the regular one. Let it sit there, let it get cold. We win the game. We get in his truck, put the cooler in the back, and we drive down Bird Road. And we celebrate. and I probably won't get to work tomorrow until like maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe even 10. I'm gonna be so late,
No, Lord knows I'm gonna have a bunch of Coors Banquets by my side and Coors
bro.
Lights. I'm gonna be Coorsed out. I'm gonna be Coorsed out for that entire game. But now going from the ice, let's go to the hardwood though. Halfway through the show, we are now actually a little bit of a comeback Pacers here. 80-74, 2:07 remaining in the
Oh
third
dang,
quarter.
damn.
No, but the funniest thing about it, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is at the line. I just looked up at my TV, and Shea is at the line for free throws.
Of course it is. Free
You
throw
can't make
merchant.
this up. You honestly can't make this up. 8 and 9 so far from the charity stripe for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander tonight.
Let me see here.
If I look up again, I see him at the free throw line. I'm gonna have to call Adam Silver here. But
He's been at the line. He's 8 for 9 right now.
yep, 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jalen Williams 7 for 8. What the?
yeah, he's been having a good game. Honestly, the Thunder opened up this game up 15. Jalen Williams again, first bid All-Star this year. He's looking like that again, an All-Star throughout this game 5. This is a 2-2 series. And Jonka, as weird as it may sound, I was talking to people earlier today. The Pacers, they've gotten their own. Like game 3 when they hosted for the first time since like the early 2000s an NBA Finals game, they led and controlled that entire game. And then game 4, they nearly came back. I mean, shoot, they had what, a 2-3 point lead in the first. My apologies, in the last minute and a half of that ball game.
Game was crazy.
This is an Indiana team who, again, was down 15 this game. Right now, I just looked up and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's at the line again with a minute 26 in the third. Okay. But yeah, currently right now, Pacers are down 82-76. This is a comeback team, but it's like, man, they are so aggressive. TJ McConnell, third quarter points, 10 points. I'm seeing the stats as we speak right now. This is again, I want your takes on this too, but I think down the line there will be a game 7. I think there will be a game 7. This, and you called it too. This honestly is basketball 1 type of NBA Finals. We're talking about small market, in sense of TV market, small market teams, both of them trying to get their first championship in franchise history. And again, for OKC, I understand the Seattle Supersonics. You can't, like, I'm a big believer, and this is a whole different, off the tracks topic. You can't just move a team and take the franchise stats with them. You can't just do that, So this is OKC's fan base trying to get their first championship in the Thunder colors. So this is 2 squads fighting for everything. A young team that really reminds me of like a 2022 Celtics squad, and they're really pushing right now. I mean, Shai Gilgeous hit a tough shot above the free throw line, not at the free throw line, but above the free throw line. But I think this is going to be a 7-game series. I honestly do believe that. I don't think Indiana wins tonight. Game 5 right now being down by 9, but game 6 is going to be a big, big game in Indiana. It might be the most important game in Indiana history.
From what's crazy to me is, from what I'm seeing on Gamecast on ESPN, is 85-79. So that's a 6-point lead. Tyrese Halliburton only has 2 goddamn points.
And it's not
2 goddamn points. Bro, the free throws up for this team total is 21 to the, let's see here. OKC 23. So they're kind of equal in free throws. Bro, but just like the crazy thing is that it's okay. It's an 8-point game. And look at this. Siakam, 1 for 5 from 3. Miles Turner, 1 for 2. Nembhard, 0 for 1. Halliburton, 0 for 4. Obi Toppin, 1 for 4. Benedict Mathurin, 1 for 4 from 3. Bro, it's because they're shooting 32% from 3. They're 8 for 25.
Yeah.
If they start making their threes and all of a sudden just randomly get hot, they can make a run in this fourth quarter and actually make it interesting. It's only 8 points.
Yeah. And I'm telling you though too, because I mean, we got to have the right players show up because, Tyrese, obviously, game winner in game one. The guy is always like, clutch guy, clutch baskets, but there's no like take over the game for us, like, oh, Pascal, take over the game for us. It's been a lot of Nemhart. It's all been nice. Naismith type of 3-pointers from the corner, getting things going to go. And in this game, at least, TJ McConnell, tearing it up to keep it within, a single digit deficit going to the end of the third, 87-79 here.
The fact that Jalen Williams has 29 points, he's 10 for 17, 2 for 3. Bro,
he's tough.
Someone needs to lock him up in this fourth quarter.
He's tough. I think in a weird comparison, like imagine James Harden, like obviously a young James Harden, but like stretched out, longer arms, not like taking things crazy like handle wise, but using his strength to go inside a little bit to attack. That's what Jalen Williams has been like reminding me recently of. Watching more and more of these final games, I'm seeing a little James Harden in him. I'm seeing a little bit, a little flair. But
that's a bit of a comparison.
I mean, again, I'm not saying 2019 Houston Rockets James Harden. I'm talking about like maybe like today James Harden. But or at least younger James Harden too when he was in OKC. But Jonka, I was thinking to myself as we pull out the legendary card again. eBay.
Want this if you want this
get that done. But Jonka, I look at this team, and I remember watching a majority of the time the bench for Indiana. And again, this is what really is the cream of the crop when it comes to the NBA depth, when it comes to an NBA Finals, because it matters so much. Mathurin, 2 of 10 from the floor, as you mentioned previously, 7 points, 16 minutes off the bench. It's like I'm watching Roy Hibbert again in 2014. On and off games, he either has 20, he either has 2. He either shows up or he doesn't. And that's Mathurin throughout this entire postseason. And quite frankly, they really do need him tonight. Because for what reason is a guy off the bench getting 16 minutes off the floor, the second most attempts from the floor? We're talking about the only other guy shooting more than him, and my apologies, actually, third guy off the floor for Indiana shooting the most field goal. McConnell at 13, Siakam with 11. Now, again, McConnell having a great game. Siakam, 14 points. He's showing up in figures. But, like, Mathurin is just, like, hucking the ball like crazy. He's not moving the ball at all. There's no ball movement here. Honestly, I think that if you're Indiana, and especially in a situation where you got a guy like that, where, yes, 7 rebounds leading the team so far with 7 high, why is he on the floor night to night, Mathurin? I understand the youth part about it, but he's not Kuminga, right? He's not like an outlier that no one knows. Everyone has seen this story so far through 4 games. It's not so impressive. I'm curious, for Mathurin's point of view, though, is there a situation where it's like we can't even have this guy play a full quarter? Is there any player on this team for Indiana where you're like, he needs to be on the floor to take over these minutes? Because I think, to me, that's got to be Obi Toppin.
I was about to say, bro, you took the words right out of my mouth. To me, I would have to put, right now, whoever the hottest hand right now is Jalen Williams. Put Obi Toppin on Jalen Williams. He's a bigger body. He's taller. He can handle the physicality. Give him some, if you have to foul him, you have to foul him. But, give him a good foul.
Yeah.
Make him know you're there. Intimidate him a little bit because all this is mental right now. This fourth quarter is going to have to be all mental. Who's going to outpace who? And right, as if we've seen this whole series, the Pacers basically have outpaced OKC. Now, despite having to deal with a free throw merchant, you can't really handle that. But hey, what are we gonna do? I think just put Obi Toppin right now, see how it works. First couple minutes, put him on Jalen Williams, put Tyrese Halliburton, and actually no, screw that. No, screw that. He needs to start scoring. Period. That's a fact. Put, I think, Mathurin, Nemhard, or maybe somebody else on Shea. Give Shea.
Don't put Mathurin on him. Don't put that man.
No. Who, man? Wait.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Naismith because, like, I love the hustle as right now. Actually, funny enough, we're looking at the roster T.J. McConnell still out there with Mathurin and Obi Toppin. This is a full bench lineup right now for Indiana, still on the floor to open up the fourth quarter here. So Tyrese is still on the bench here. And from the looks of my apologies, the OKC side, Caruso, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with appears to be Wiggins and Williams and Chet Holmgren, that is, seems to all be on the floor. So kind of a mix and match that Jalen Williams just knocks down a three. Actually, my apologies. Aaron Wiggins knocks down a corner three, making it now 92-82 with 10:50 remaining in the game. But, Jonka, I'm thinking Aaron Naismith, who already has gone through 18 minutes in this one, he needs to be – I mean, honestly, I feel like in a weird way, he's like the best defender guard-wise on Shai because he plays a full court like nothing. He's like a pinball out there, like an annoying tic-tac, like just –
Caruso?
Well, Caruso, yeah, I want to say like Caruso because for OKC, he's like, all NBA defense and all that stuff. But Naismith, he's an underlier, man, for Indiana. But, I mean, I know you're talking about for the OKC side with Caruso because I'm also looking at their stats right now. Again, game's still going on here. But it's honestly been pretty impressive, though. Caruso, at his point, 1 of 8 from the floor. 3 personal fouls. Not really an overall good game for him. But they got him late. They got him late playing defense. So, of course, they got them, putting a big envelope for Caruso's paycheck, banking in that he can win this one.
Siakam only has 1 foul.
Yeah.
He's shooting pretty well. 26 minutes is not bad. I would try that on Shai. See what happens. And then put either Miles Turner or somebody on Jalen Williams and just try to disrupt the pattern, do something because you need to make a 10-point deficit in the next 10, 11 minutes. You're down, bro. This is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
Indy only has 3 timeouts left. And Halliburton hasn't really gone. He's 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3.
And let alone not really moving the ball at all. We're talking about 4 assists, as you said.
Yeah,
and
man.
I mean, this isn't going to be a triple or even a double.
It's also not helping that Mathurin is 2 for 10 and 1 for 4.
Yeah.
He has 7 rebounds, but no assists, 2 fouls, 7 points.
No, it's rough. But again, I mean, this has been a game so far where it's like, Shai and then you have Jalen Williams taking over. The one thing that's kind of shocked me about this entire series, because again, I've always talked about Chet Holmgren because I have high stock in him. Like ever since he left Gonzaga, I've had huge stock in the second coming of Kevin Durant. I don't understand how he's been struggling offensively. And again, this is a game right now where currently he has 9 points, 8 rebounds, bound to get a double-double at this point. But, man, I haven't seen an explosive game out of him. I felt like there was going to be a point in this series where we're going to see Chet Holmgren go off. 30 points. Pick and pot. Let's see a three-pointer happen.
I don't know what happened. I think they just got way too many bodies, too many big bodies to put against him. And he's too scrawny, right? He needs to get in the gym. Bro, just said Tyrese Halliburton enters the game for Benedict, and somebody enters the game for T.J. McConnell. I think that's somebody. I forgot who.
Okay, so McConnell going out of the game again on a hot streak right now out of the third. But Tyrese, this is big Tyrese minutes here. Again, not clutch, 10 minutes left in the fourth. But a lot will be going down right now in this game 5.
Oh, Naismith enters the game for TJ. There we go. Just
Naismith. There. See, that's the guy I was thinking about defense.
Now, question. This is hypothetical. I'm thinking a little bit ahead.
Okay.
Whoever was to lose this series, what do you think they would need to improve next season?
Okay. So that's a great question.
Who do you have winning as of right now? OKC?
Well, I do have OKC. Yeah, I have for the whole series OKC.
In your scenario, what would Indy have to do in the offseason to get better?
Well, I would look at Indiana. And again, I open up this NBA part of the segment with, the depth was a huge thing for Indiana. It's one of their biggest outliers as a team and also a really great defensive team, that is. If I'm Indiana, I'm looking right now to pair Miles Turner up with someone because Pascal Siakam kind of playing at the 4, right? Shouldn't
They
be
have Jarris Walker, the rookie,
who?
or somewhat rookie. Jarris Walker.
Yeah, so they'll need like a star probably next to Miles Turner if they want to go. And again, in a big where like no one saw this NBA Finals happening. If Indiana wanted to go to another NBA Finals quick with a not the same but similar roster, I think they would have to go out of their way to get another stretch big. Like for Pascal, I think he does well at the 4 in the power stretch position, but if you go and have him playing at the 3, you get the wings going. And it's not going to be a where it's like you have Nembhard and Naismith starting games together. You got, maybe you have pushed Naismith to the bench or Nembhard rather, and you have that kind of depth where it's like, man, we got starting power throughout this entire roster. We got 6 man of the year potentially right here with the guys we got. Maybe you go out of your way. Maybe it's like, I can't even tell you a free agent off the top of my head, but let's say like a Paul Millsap type of player was out there, right? Like let's say that like for some reason the Clippers didn't want to do that.
That right there describes Siakam right there.
Yeah, in a weird world, But let's just say they get like themselves a pick and pop guy, all-star type of guy. Let's say David West, the reincarnation of David West pops out for Indiana. I think that would put them over the hump where it's like, again, you come back from an NBA Finals and you're still considered a contender with that new move. Because, we talked about Mathurin earlier. I think they can move on from Mathurin. I don't really think they need Mathurin, especially when you have, yeah.
If you can trade him and get something better in return,
right?
Okay, then yes, I'd be with you. But like, okay, this is what I see right now. Keep Obi Toppin, keep Siakam, keep Ben Shepherd, keep Naismith, Nembhard, McConnell, Isaiah Jackson, I guess, Tyrese, obviously. Everybody else is on the chopping block.
Yeah, but that's like half of the team. Wait,
just like I understand that, but like,
wait, hold up. I just noticed something.
Thomas Bryant is so unnecessary.
He is
on this team.
Shout out the Heat.
I would rather get rid of him, save some cap, and draft a center.
So you would go younger. You would go younger in this situation.
I would go for a young center, or maybe trade for a center. But this because Thomas Bryant ain't it, Chief. He ain't it.
He's not.
I guarantee you, if they had a better center than Thomas Bryant, I mean, I know Miles Turner's good, but if they had a better backup center, I feel like they would be able to protect the paint a little bit better.
Exactly, and again, an offensive scoring big because I was talking about with a little stretch. But funny you even mentioned that Thomas Bryant, Jackson, Walker, all those bigs haven't even played a minute so far in this game 5. And we're talking right now about still like a 10-man rotation, but off the bench, McConnell, Mathurin, Shepherd, Toppin, those aren't centers. Those aren't guys playing the 5.
Why is James Johnson still in the league?
Brad. I mean, the guy's a bodyguard at this point. You look at him with the sideline.
They need that right now.
but yeah, I mean, I do like that move. I mean, my only question is going younger. I just don't know what going younger for Indiana would look like. Still wanting to be a contender.
Ooh, 6-point game.
Yep. 92-86 with 9:54. Shout out Broward. 9:54 in the fourth quarter. But John, I would also think on the other end, because I know, I believe OKC should win this series. But hypothetically, let's say that OKC doesn't win this series. Let's say hypothetically, and again, we're talking about Sam Presti, the GM with the magic touch, it looks like, with draft picks galore through like 2032. But let's say that there's a world where this OKC team does not win. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander obviously is going to be asked for a bag if he's not already gotten one that's over $150, $200 million contract. And then also,
I think it's going to be way more than that.
I mean, it has to be with today's NBA, at least over 300 the next deal he asked for. And again, I talk about Chet Holmgren all the time, but how much longer can you wait for an all-star year? How much longer can you wait to see Holmgren really jump in his game where it's like, man, this guy could take over the game if he wanted to, which he can. I think he has the skill set to do that. I mean, dribbles slow, can take guys one-on-one. Maybe, again, as you said before, Jonka, build some muscle because there's no meat in that bone. I mean, injury is bound to happen if it's already happened. Yeah. So.
Trying to think. I was also on the hype train with Chet.
Yeah.
But it's just like at some point, you just gotta get rid of what you can and move for the future. Yeah, I don't know if they'll take it. I don't know if they'll take it. You said they have a lot of picks. They also have a good team with them. Trade Chet. Think about this. This might happen. Trade Chet, some picks, and maybe I guess Dort and maybe somebody else, Case and Wallace or whatever.
Yeah.
Get Giannis.
In a weird world, that actually could happen. That really could happen.
I feel like they would make that pick.
Yeah.
I feel like they would make that trade, bro.
There'll be so many draft picks. So, because again, we're talking about Milwaukee, who literally does not have a draft pick or a first-round pick for their future at all in the next 5 years. So they really do need it. But today's price is ridiculous.
After that situation,
yes.
before,
yes,
they're going to give up like 6.
And I'm glad we're going to
get rid of Kaysen, Dort, maybe one, and Chet. I feel like that can make up some of the number of first-round picks.
Yeah,
throw 3 in there, 3 first round.
It makes a lot worth it. I would say 3 to 4. And again, with Chet Holmgren, I think he's good enough of a talent, especially at that type of position where Milwaukee's like, man, we just got Brook Lopez here and Bobby Portis. But Jonka, I love that because I want to segue into this for the last 10 minutes of the show.
Wait, before you do that, guys, okay. I was fine. After the years of hypothetical trades and scenarios, I have finally been able to convince Brandon of one. And it has been today. And guess what? It is the day before the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup Finals. It is a day to remember.
Someday, but today's NBA is not the NBA I recognize at all, man. Today's NBA is odd. But that's why I want to segue right now into this last topic. Before going to the KD thing, I want your quick thoughts because we talked about this a little bit in our group chats. Desmond Bane going to the Orlando Magic for Caldwell Pope, Cole Anthony, and a bunch of unprotected first rounders, about 4, I believe. I know it's like a desperate need the Orlando needed for Desmond Bane on the wing, and especially a guy that was a little consistent shooting. But knowing that we have this now, where also you have guys like Luka Doncic who went away for 2 players in a first rounder, that was it. Desmond Bane, this one looks like a fleece coming away with this, with all those draft picks from Memphis. But knowing that we saw this, how much harder does it make for Miami to potentially get Kevin Durant?
Yeah, bro. So I was trying to tell you guys earlier today when I first saw the trade. I was just like taken back from it. Like 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane.
Yeah.
And some players, like, come on, guys. Like, okay, listen. I know Desmond Bane was like a big name like 2 years ago, when he was like cooking up people when John Morant was dealing with the whole gun situation. But like, that's 2 years ago, bro. Yes, he's a good great 3-point shooter. He can give you some good defense. But like, Orlando got fleeced, bro.
Yeah, and again, this is Desmond Bane's stats ending off 24-2025. And again, these are good stats, though. They're decent, though. Even though Bane does not look like the player at 215 pounds. 19 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 48% from the floor. That's 43rd best in the NBA. And again, we're talking about an impressive stat line with Minnesota's system. But at the same time...
Memphis.
My apologies. Memphis. Yes, Memphis. Minnesota, Memphis. A lot of M's in the NBA. But... what does this look like when he has to share the forwards, Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero? Like, it went from John Morant to Desmond Bane, then Jaren Jackson Jr. And again, Jaren Jackson Jr. is not doing much offense nowadays. He's doing mostly defense. Obviously, one of the better defensive players in the NBA. I don't know. I think his stats will drop a little bit. I think for Orlando, it's like an odd situation where you're gonna have, what you wanted, but he's gonna want more at the same time. I feel like there might be a little bit of conflict in Orlando. I like the pieces if you're gonna sacrifice and try to push for, and again, this is a team that was a first round exit, but in the up way, in the up, but second round team at best, in my opinion, for Orlando. That's what I would say.
I don't know. I'm kind of like in between. Like it could work, but is it something that they needed? I don't think so. I feel like with just the 4 first round picks and Cole Anthony, I feel like they could have easily gotten him. You didn't have to include KCP.
Yeah.
If they would have kept KCP and gone Desmond Bain, then I would have been like, okay, that's a little bit more agreeable.
Yeah. Now we're looking at
KCP
something.
and the first and Cole Anthony. Is it enough though?
I don't think
it's a good 3. It's a good 3 third option.
Yep.
But I need to see Paulo take that next step. I need to see Franz. He's good. He's great. I love Franz.
Insane.
I love Franz. Not Morris. Not his brother. His brother is like whatever. But if Franz can really take that real next step, I think that 1-2 punch would be crazy. But I'll tell you this right now. Jalen Suggs, I think they're going to trade him.
Same.
I think they're going to trade Jalen Suggs for something better. I don't know what it is. I think it's going to be real good.
It's just getting started. The offseason is just getting started, man.
The NBA Finals isn't even over yet, bro. and like, plus, like, we're dealing with this KD situation.
Yes, which I do want to go into quickly before we end tonight's show.
No, yeah, you're with me. We'll go all night, baby. I'm kidding.
All night. There we go. We got to discuss this. This is what the people want.
If we need to stay up till we finish this NBA Finals game, we will. Don't worry.
Damn straight. But actually, according to the majority of the reports right now, and again, half of these reports are rumored, some things are hearsay, naysay, whatever. But the 3 teams right now, according to Shams on ESPN Insider as well, other sources, we're looking at the Miami Heat, somehow Milwaukee, and the Houston Rockets as destinations for Kevin Durant, where it's preferred. Yes, the destinations that they're looking at. And there's one that I saw, a weird hat in the ring of Minnesota. I really don't believe much in that, though, because, and again, not saying that the Timberwolves wouldn't be able to make that move. I think they have enough assets for it. But, Jay McDaniels and Nas Reed might as well be out of the door if that deal was to happen. I'm thinking to myself, if there's a destination for Kevin Durant where he's successful, because I think we're going to jump into the Miami Heat part of it as well. I'm thinking it's Houston. I really do believe it's Houston. We're talking about a team that was second in the West. Sengun will probably still be on the roster because I don't think Houston's going to be willing to get rid of him. And then maybe in this situation where if you're Phoenix, you get a bunch of first rounders, but on top of that, you get Jabari Smith Jr., a guy where you can take him to Phoenix, develop him, a former lottery pick, and again, a starter for Houston who was a 60-plus win team, or 50-plus win team, rather, excuse me. I think that's probably the best thing you can do. Because if you're the Miami Heat and you're like hesitant for Kellen Ware, who hasn't even played a full NBA season, with Kevin Durant becoming 37 soon next year,
yep.
Like, if you're hesitant of pulling that trigger, then you shouldn't even be part of the conversation at all. If you don't want to move away from a guy that hasn't played a full NBA season, if you don't want to move away from draft picks or like trading big names for, superstar future Hall of Famers, in this case for Kevin Durant, you shouldn't be in this conversation. Because, Jonky, you tell me this all the time where it's, they need to do a trade. They need to do a trade, but they'll never do it because Pat Riley loves his players. They won't budge. I think the same scenario is going to happen with Pat.
I want Pat to make a trade, but within reason. You just got Khalil Ware this past draft. He ended up being pretty good. He can hit some. He can hit some threes. He's a good center. He's big. He's strong. He's aggressive. He it gives Bam a chance to play the four. You get some extra defense in there. You finally have a center.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to get KD. Now I get it. If they want Khalil Ware, listen. Do not include Ware in this trade because guess what? You're going to be back to square one because you're going to have an old KD. You're going to have a situation where you don't have a center. You're going to have to make Bam play the center again. You're going to have Hero. You're going to have KD, and you're going to have that, but then you're going to have to be stuck with possibly, with rumors are going around that the Heat are the favorites to get Russell Westbrook. We're going to run back 2010, 2011 OKC for some reason. Like, I don't know what to tell you, Brandon, bro.
This is stressing you.
This team, man, Pat Riley is really pissing me off. And there's also speculation about John Morant and the Heat that Memphis might be willing to get rid of him for a price because I feel like he's too much drama and too much going on. Buddy,
Yep.
if he has too much going on in Memphis, do not send him to Miami, bro. Miami will bring you more problems.
Yeah.
Way more problems, bro. Bro, I'm a loner and I still get in trouble. So this is not the situation, bro. And if you think Pat Riley is going to be micromanaging you everywhere you go, especially in the locker room, bro, he took away LeBron's cookies, and that's why LeBron left. LeBron, the star player of the team, took away his cookies.
Yeah.
Buddy, you're not going to be able to survive in the Heat, bro. No way. So at this point, I don't know what other person you could possibly get. Maybe Kuminga, but apparently the Warriors are working with Kuminga for a new contract for like 3 years. Like 80 million, 90 million. So I could see this working out the same way again, Brandon. Where we're in talks, but we're not really in talks. Terry Rozier would have been a good trade, idea, but he ruined his draft stock or his trade stock because he tanked the whole season, played like absolute trash. And now we're in this situation where we can't trade Ware because he's too valuable. We have Terry here, Duncan Robinson because of his contract. He plays literally no defense. And then we got Kevin Love taking a roster spot because he needs to be the voice of the team because we need a leader. Yeah. Buddy, you can be a leader on the court while hitting threes. You're injured the entire season. Get rid of it. This whole Heat culture that we're having I feel like it's a facade right now. It's like a mirage. Like we're being tricked into believing that this is something like I don't even know what to do. Like, bro, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started, bro. This is ridiculous. Right. I can go on for hours, but obviously we don't have hours.
So, we don't have hours. The one thing I would say though, to end off the topic, because I know you talk about, the hesitation, the untouchables in this situation. Because I know you said, don't give up Ware.
Oh, don't give up Davion Mitchell either.
Don't give up Davion Mitchell. Andrew Wiggins can walk through that door if KD's on the table. You're thinking about it.
Listen, I would give up Andrew Wiggins. Yep. But I am not the one person I am not willing to give up besides Davion Mitchell, and obviously the others, is Nikola Jovic. You give up Nikola Jovic, you just made your whole team as bums. Bums. What was the whole point of developing this guy if you're going to trade him for a 37-year-old that may or may not get injured because of his age? Sure, he provided for Phoenix, but did he really carry Phoenix? Did he really provide that next level play? I don't believe so. I would rather trade for Booker, bro. Trade for Booker. I think Booker wants out of Phoenix. I don't think he wants to stay in Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, he is the franchise there. I think that ever since, as funny as it is, I think the Washington Wizards are like at fault for the whole Phoenix drama. because for them to do that deal, that contract of over $200 million before getting rid of him is crazy work. Again, looking after your franchise player, amazing for Washington's point, but man, screwed up Phoenix. Screwed up Phoenix. But John, the one thing I'll say before we end off the show, and you can, if you have a hot topic about this or whatever, I haven't been big on the Jovic stock at all. I haven't been big on his stock. But who I am big on is the fact that they put him on the shelf. They put Hawkins on the shelf, didn't play them all at the end of the year. They should have done more with him. I think they put their pieces in the wrong place here, man. I think, and again, as much as I hate to say it too, I think Hawkins will be a part of a deal. I really do believe Jovic will be a part of the deal because you got to have some sort of youth there. And for Phoenix, if I'm in this situation, you got to look for draft picks. That's why I think Milwaukee might not even be a part of this because Milwaukee has nothing to really deal with.
Bro, if somehow, just somehow, Milwaukee can make it work and get KD without giving up Giannis, Bobby Portis, and Brook Lopez, that would be the craziest defensive team in the NBA historically. I don't know who is going through that defense, but may God be with you every time you drive in.
I don't know.
You're not getting through, bro.
Man, that would be, again, such a stretch. Again, already a tall roster. That would be an insane roster mentally. But I can also imagine, because, again, if that was to happen, Lillard would probably be walking to Phoenix. And we're talking about and this would be the worst brand of basketball in the NBA. But it would suck to see Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Damian Lillard be on a losing team altogether. That would suck.
Let me see. Devin Booker. When does his contract end? Because I don't remember him signing an extension.
I don't know, but I believe it's a long time. I think he really did get paid like 22.
Okay, since here the extension, he did send a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
The extension would annual salary of $75 million. We'll keep him in the Suns through the 2029-30 season.
Yeah, so trust me, he's there for a good while. So, but again, only time will tell. Trades are going to happen, right? NBA finals are going on, and it looks like OKC is running away with this one with 4:20 remaining in the fourth quarter, 113 and 1.
It wouldn't. I don't want to count. I don't want to count them out because we've seen it happen.
That is true. Knock on wood.
It just looks like it's going to be OKC, and especially after Halliburton only. I think, does he still have 2 points?
He basically
4.
I don't even think he has more than 5. Yeah. So this has been a rough ride for Indiana fans who, again, they're still pushing, and you never know, as John has said. But that'll do all of our time. We went through just about every single topic on the ice, the hardwood, trade hypotheticals. Obviously, the Heat not really making much away points of it. But we'll keep you updated for the next Monday. Again, Monday, 10 p.m. again next week. Don't miss it out. We'll be right back with more and more people.
Now, I want to say one thing. You remember us doing the NFL draft. I want to know. Let us know in our socials if you want to have us do the NBA draft.
Yes.
We would love to do it. It was a great show. Everybody was having fun. So let us know if you want us to do an NBA draft stream. We'll do it gladly for you guys, no matter what. Don't worry about it. So thank you guys. Let's go Panthers.
Yes, go Cats.
And remember, buy sports cards. Go Panthers and support the troops.